and get started. I'll be right back. All right, I wasn't gone long.
And you're on.
All right, welcome everyone. This is Dana at the State Department, and we're having our Zoom question and answer session. It's 2:30, so we'll go ahead and, actually I have 2:32, so we'll go ahead and get started. And we got a short little PowerPoint again, and then we will let you guys start asking questions in the chat box so that we'll have a reference to go back and do our question and answers and post the link in CARS so you guys will have them. The first thing we're going to talk about is the waivers, but I will say Jennifer is here, but she is on another call. She's going to be in here to talk on the Zoom just as soon as she can get through. If you can see on the slide, we have waiver extensions for meal pattern flexibility, which that's extended it until July 31st. We have waiver 27, 28, 29, 30, and 31 that all deal with monitoring. Those are all extensions on, part of it's for the state agency on how we can monitor if we can still do desk reviews in the coming school year. If you're a sponsoring organization in the CACFP and the SFSP program, some of those monitoring requirements have been waived. And then the one that came out, I don't know, this morning is the waiver number 32, which extended area eligibility through August 31st. That is now a nationwide waiver. So if you are a school district and we approved you to do seamless summer or SFSP, summer food service program, and your site or sites were not 50% free or reduced or over, and we took you possibly would have to stop at the end of June, that now has been extended through August 31st. All of the waivers and memos are posted in CARS under other documents under that COVID-19 heading. So just for late night easy reading. Return to learn child nutrition style. The State Department's issued a return to learn plan for school districts on how that may look for the fall semester. Then there's information in our part on the CN, but it's very vague because we're waiting on USDA guidance. If you want to look at the return to learn plan, the State Department website listed there on the screen, you can go and download it to your computer and look at the information that has been put out from the State Department of Education. We were told yesterday that USDA is issuing a playbook, and that's what they called it, a playbook for back to schools. They could not give us a timeline on when the playbook would be issued. So we will wait and see what kind of guidance we receive on the playbook. And I've just left kind of the dates for ABVM for training, July 21st and August the 2nd. This is the same training. ABVM, we separated it into two different dates, but that's the same training. We've had some people call and say, do I need to register for both? No, one of those sessions will be sufficient to cover your school. The ABVM is the mandatory training that all schools must take, at least one person must take from every school district every year. The other trainings we have that we've set up for now, the procurement on July 28th and August the 5th, and then we're gonna do a wellness smart snack professional standards on July 21st and 22nd. So those are some ways to get some of your professional standard hours. I know some people were kind of worried about cafeteria managers not having that whole training this year because we offered 6 good hours and your cafeteria staff could, come at one session and get everything. Right now, we're still looking at what we can do. kind of thinking maybe some sessions similar to what we do at SNA conference, but do them in this type setting, a Zoom format. But right now we already have meal patterns that we did as a webinar in February, in the food buying guide webinar that we did in November. So those are two you could go out and train your staff, maybe use as a back to school part if you needed something to get started. And we'd hopefully maybe like to do a couple of Zooms on the production records and offer versus serve, especially offer versus serve, since it is a required training. Now, another reminder that we wanted to make everyone aware of is the paid lunch equity tool. Every school district must either complete the paid lunch equity tool, apply for an exemption, or be a CEP or provision school. If you're not provision or exempt, you have to complete the tool, and it has to be turned in to our department and approved before your 2021 renewal application can be completed. And the email there on the slide is where you're going to send your tool or the request for your exemption. The documents that you can take for the exemption is a revenue expenditure summary, and it needs to be as of December 31st, 2019. All right, so now we've kind of got a few questions that are started in the chat box. We'll try to answer them when they come in, but then we'll also, like I said, we'll take the questions, we'll type them up in the question and answer format like we've been doing, so that you have those for documentation. And Gary, Jennifer has joined us, so if you would make her a presenter, okay. So that way she can start chatting, because she may have a few things to add. So I'm going to mute for a minute and see if Jennifer has anything before we really start with the questions.
I do have two announcements. And they are about one being CEP